Afternoon, Alexander. So we're talking about Al-Shabaab here, who are active in Kenya. Have they launched a new offensive recently?
Well, they're actually responding to an offensive that has been launched against them in neighboring Somalia. A UN-mandated alliance of East African militaries there called AMISOM began in mid-March a major offensive largely in the south of Somalia to try and oust Al-Shabaab from some of their power centers. And these attacks in Kenya should be seen as a real response to this kind of thing, where Shabaab are trying to avoid much engagement with the Kenyan military, but are trying to sort of make the Kenyan military's involvement in Somalia a bit more costly for the Kenyan government back home.
So precision attacks rather than ongoing fighting is what they're looking to engage in. Is that right then?
Well, look, I mean, of course, they will be fighting in Somalia, but they have got specific groups of people who have been sent to various East African countries to carry out attacks in the past. Kenya, just a couple of weeks ago, suffered an attack, and of course, a few months ago, we remember the Westgate Mall attack where dozens of people were killed. Unfortunately, this kind of thing is going to continue in Kenya, and with any luck, at least, they will be lower-level attacks such as the ones that we've seen today, rather than major attacks like the one at the Westgate Mall.
Do you assume that the Foreign and Commonwealth Office must have some sort of intelligence to be pulling people out of the country?
Well, yes. I mean, they were pretty urgent in their last message about removing tourists, and even I think a number of the tourist agencies have responded to that and pulled out a lot of their customers from Kenya. And obviously they must have known something was coming, but of course things will continue to happen. I should say a lot of the time these are not targeted against tourists, they're targeted against locals. But I can certainly understand the concern of the Foreign Office. It's their job to make our citizens aware of the threats, but it's not a sort of, one of the most dangerous countries in the world, certainly.
Do Al-Shabaab have an area where they are far more active, where they successfully carry out attacks more? I mean, we've seen this one in the capital, and isn't Mombasa another area where they do?
Yes, of course. The major cities are always going to be big targets. It's large concentrations of people in small areas, very useful for bombing tactics. But they're also active on the borders with Somalia, because it's very easy to gain access there. So a lot of the border towns there suffer a lot of church attacks that happen there, trying to, again, cause, as well as put off the tourist industry and affect Kenya's economy, to also cause and increase tensions between Muslims and Christians in Kenya, and just contribute to sort of intercommunal tensions that are going to cause all sorts of problems for the government there.
Finally, Alexander, you were in Kenya last year looking at Al-Shabaab. Who are they? Who are they attracting to come and fight for them?
Well, look, it's a Somali jihadist militant group. And it's mainly made up of Somalis, but it has also attracted a lot of East African, Swahili speakers in particular, Ugandans, Burundians, and Kenyans. We've known actual indigenous Kenyans to be involved with Al-Shabaab and involved in attacks. We don't really know who's carried out the attacks today, whether or not they were Somalis or Kenyans or perhaps members of the Somali diaspora in Kenya. But they have options as far as recruitment goes.
We appreciate your time, Alexander Meleagrou-Hitchens. Thank you very much.